The sheep thief was hiding in a cave. When the man spotted him, he immediately opened fire. After the 2 gunshots, he quickly ran to the front of the cave and found the thief had already escaped. That day, Rajab received a call for help from his friend, Isa. A thief had stolen Isa's sheep. When Rajab heard the news, his expression immediately grew tense. He quickly grabbed his hunting rifle, ready to head into the mountains to help. This wasn't the first time this thief had struck. Over the past few months, his friend's sheep had gone missing several times. This time, Rajab was determined. He was going to make him pay, no matter what. After getting everything ready, he said goodbye to his wife and prepared to leave. He also brought along his binoculars to get a better view of the thief's movements. This little girl's name is Hania. She had just run all the way from the mountains to bring the news to Rajab. Isa is her father. She hoped that her uncle Rajab could help catch the thief. The 2 of them headed towards the mountains. First, they needed to go to Hania's home to meet with her father and plan how to deal with the thief. The journey to their home deep in the mountains was long, requiring more than an hour of walking. Hania was much tougher than she looked. To deliver the message for her father, it was no easy feat for her to come out of the mountains alone. Hania jogged along, staying close behind Rajab. After a while, they both started to get tired and stopped for a moment to catch their breath. After a short rest, the 2 continued their journey deeper into the mountains. After a difficult hike, they were finally nearing their destination. The mountain scenery in the distance started to look familiar. Hania's home was located on that mountainside. This simple stone hut built on the edge of a cliff is Hania's home. It's their temporary shelter while they herd their animals here. It's not big, and it's not very sturdy, but it's enough to provide shelter from the wind and rain. For herders like them, a place to sleep and cook is all they need to call it home. When Isa saw Rajab, he began to vent his frustrations. Yesterday, the thief had stolen from his flock again, which made him furious. Now with Rajab's help, he could finally confront the thief. The 2 began to plan their next move. Isa told Rajab the details of the recent thefts. Told Rajab he had a rough idea of where the thief might be hiding. Since the flock went missing last night, more than a dozen hours had passed. Isa was very worried about his flock. But he was alone and had to look after his children, so he didn't dare to act rashly. In the Zagros Mountains of Iran, threats like this are not uncommon. Besides wolves, leopards, and other wild animals like jackals, the most unpredictable danger for herders are actually the people who specifically target their flocks. After some discussion, the 2 decided to head into the valley to investigate. They wanted to see if the thief was hiding there. Before leaving, Isa gave specific instructions to his 3 daughters. He told them not to go anywhere, to just stay inside the house, and not to run into the mountains. Although he was worried about his children, the most important thing right now was to find the flock and the thief. Hania was a very well-behaved child. When her father told her to stay home, she would obediently do as she was told, never wandering off. She would also help with simple chores around the house and take care of her younger sister. Foreign language. Her father repeatedly warned her not to wander off. Then the 2 men left, heading towards the distant valley. Most thieves steal the sheep and run, moving on to find another target elsewhere. But this thief was different. He didn't just steal once, he dared to come back a second time, repeatedly appearing near the same pasture. Clearly, he had his eyes set on Isa's flock. The two first went to the top of the mountain to survey the situation. Rajab asked Isa if he had searched this area before. Isa told him he had searched it a few times, but hadn't gone inside the valley to look. And the valley was the most likely hiding place. Rajab used his binoculars to observe the valley. The terrain in the valley was complex, with many large boulders and blind spots. It was a perfect place to hide. The two men found it very suspicious and jogged over to check it out. After entering the valley, the atmosphere became tense. The area was filled with scattered rocks and towering cliffs. The two men slowed their pace. Rajab loaded his rifle, ready for a confrontation at any moment. This gun is an old model rifle that was widely used during World War II. Rajab loaded a total of 5 bullets into the magazine. Nomadic tribes often use these old rifles for protection against wolves and thieves, and even in tribal conflicts. Soon, the two men spotted the flock of sheep. They were right under this huge rock. The spot was hidden and sheltered from the wind. It was clear they had been herded here on purpose. The two men guessed the thief was likely nearby. After finding the flock, Isa quickly herded the sheep out from under the rock, driving them towards the valley exit. Thankfully, the flock was safe, but they might have still lost 1 or 2 sheep. Soon, the two spotted something else. On the cliff face across from them, smoke was rising from an inconspicuous cave entrance. The two men were instantly on alert and immediately crouched behind a rock. Rajab quickly raised his binoculars to get a closer look at the cave. After a quick discussion, they decided to split up. Isa would take a detour and go around to the other side of the mountain, approaching the cave from behind to cut off the thief's escape route. Meanwhile, Rajab would stay here on watch. He aimed his rifle at the cave entrance, ready to fire at any moment. Since they weren't too far from the cave, and with the constant ringing of the sheep's bells, the thief had likely already noticed someone approaching. Rajab kept his eyes glued to the cave entrance. The moment the thief showed his face, he would pull the trigger. The other side of the cave was unusually quiet. Smoke was still drifting out, but there was no sign of anyone. The thief was clearly on high alert and wouldn't show himself easily. After a moment, there was finally movement at the cave entrance. A figure slowly emerged, keeping his body low, trying to crawl quietly behind a dead tree next to the cave to hide. After spotting the thief, Rajab took aim and fired. Unfortunately, the shot hit the rocks next to the tree. Rock fragments flew everywhere. The thief instinctively fell to the ground. He quickly scrambled back into the cave, even though the shot missed its target. It was enough to scare him half to death. The cave entrance fell silent for a moment. Now the thief definitely wouldn't dare to come out, but Rajab couldn't let his guard down. He had to keep a constant watch on the cave entrance. After a short while, a head quietly peeked out, trying to observe the situation outside. Rajab's eyes narrowed. He aimed and fired again.